Christy, are you there? Did the wedding invite arrive yet? You didn't get back to me on whether you'd be coming or not, so I had no choice but to message you. Huh? What the? Listen to me, Mel. I already made it perfectly clear I had no intention of coming from the get-go, didn't I? Why would you go out of your way to send an invite when you already knew what the answer was? Wow, what am I even reading? This is your own brother's wedding we're talking about here. Of course you're coming. What about your duty to your family? What with the both of your parents having passed away, you'd be the only member of Kyle's family there. Are you really going to let him be all on his own like this? Don't you feel bad for your little brother? I don't need to be lectured about not coming to the wedding by the person who made me want to not come to the wedding in the first place. Besides, Kyle won't be on his own. He'll have you, your family, and his friends there with him. Huh? How did I make you not want to come to the wedding? What are you even talking about? Did you really think I didn't know? Oh, I know what this is about. Being a high school dropout really bothers you, doesn't it, Kirsty? Huh? It's fine, babe. You don't need to worry about that. It's a triviality. Anyway, we don't need you to have brains. Me and Kyle graduated university with flying colors after all. So we've got the intellect and achievement bases covered. Most of my family graduated university too. I totally get why you might feel ashamed and embarrassed about being a high school dropout. But honestly, you don't need to. We're not judging you for it, I promise. We're open-minded and accept people from all walks of life and backgrounds. That's not what I'm talking about. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, that settles it. I'll put you down on the attending list. You can put me on whatever list you like. The bottom line is I'm not coming, and that's final. Yeah, whatever. Quit fooling me around already, Kirsty. You're obviously going to be there to support your little brother. Wow, you seriously don't get it, do you? Have you even realized why I don't want to come in the first place, or did it go straight over your head? Or are you doing this on purpose to tick me off? Yeah, whatever. Ugh, would you quit being so immature already? Anyway, you can say whatever you like. I'm not coming, and that's that. I amaze myself with how clever I am sometimes. It's no surprise I graduated university with brains like these. What are you talking about? I successfully switched jobs to something with better prospects and better pay. You switched jobs? Let's just say some things happened at my old job and I had to quit. I knew me and Kyle would be moving to a different town after the wedding anyways. So I figured I'd use me leaving the old place to find something more local with a more convenient commute. And guess what? A major global company just made me an offer I couldn't refuse. I'm the best. I doubt a high school dropout like you could ever accomplish anything like this. Wow, really? You actually got an offer that fast? You have no idea how hectic it was to find time to fit the interview in with the preparations for the wedding. I felt like I was barely getting time to eat, but boy, am I glad I went. I take it you changed your plans to become a full-time stay-at-home housewife then. Huh? I heard about you bragging to everyone about how you were going to quit your job when you got married because my brother Kyle's filthy rich due to being a top executive at one of America's most prestigious donut companies. That was... Oh, it's fine, Mel. You don't have to try and hide it or make excuses. I already know the reason. Huh? Anyway, I need to head back to work now, so... yeah, bye. I'm not sure I like your tone, Kirsty. This isn't over. Oh, and before I go, I know you can be slow and forgetful what with being a high school dropout and all, so allow me to remind you one more time. You are absolutely, positively, definitely, incontrovertibly, without a shadow of a doubt, coming to our wedding next month. And don't you forget it. It's gonna be a blast, and we wouldn't dream of celebrating without you there to share in our joy. Sis? Like, hello? The wedding's about to start, you know. Hurry up and get your ass down here. What are you talking about? Like I need to spell it out. Mine and Kyle's wedding is about to start, doofus. Oh, was that today? What? Of course it's today, and you know it. Quit playing dumb. I know you left the house wearing your best clothes this morning, so don't even try to hide it. That reminds me, I heard you moved into one of those apartments that was for sale in my neighborhood. I'm guessing that's how you appear to have been tracking my whereabouts. Jeez, you know, Mel, I was hoping you'd move as far away from me as humanly possible so I'd never have to deal with you again. But you had to go and move in practically next door to me, huh? Hey, wait a sec. No way. Did you get the wedding venue wrong? Huh? The wedding venue. Do you actually know where it is? We're doing it with a company called Matrimonial Magic Makers at their main wedding hall on 5th Street. Matrimonial Magic Makers? Oh, wow, I see. I'm guessing from your response. I knew it. Did you mix up the venue for your own brother's wedding? I guess it can't be helped. I should have written the invite in crayon so even a high school dropout like you could understand it. I'm pretty sure I already made this clear, but I had no intention of coming to the wedding to begin with. So there was no need for me to check where it was being held. Huh? I never planned on coming, so why would I waste my time? Waste your time? Mine and your brother's wedding is not a waste of time. I didn't bother to look at the date either. I'm at work today and I have a bunch of meetings with several important clients. That's the only reason I'm dressed especially smartly. Gotta make sure I leave a good impression, you know? Oh my god, are you serious? Hang on a sec, were you trying to pull a trick on me by intentionally writing the wrong wedding venue on my invite so I'd show up at the wrong place? You wouldn't do something so childish, would you, Mel? No way! I hit the nail on the head, huh? But now that I think about it, if you're getting married today, I take it you'll be absent from the new employee training session today then? What the hell? Today was supposed to be your first day at your new job, wasn't it? We generally train up new employees for the week before they officially start. But since you got hired outside of our usual hiring season, the plan was to train you up officially starting from your first day. Today. You were made aware of the schedule over text and email, Mel. There was no reason you couldn't have let us know you wouldn't be able to make it. But it's a Sunday today! Well, the industry we work in isn't as subject to the weekday-weekend cycle as most others, which means a good chunk of our departments run just like normal on Sundays. What? It just so happens that your department is one of the many that work weekends. This, in combination with the fact that you were made aware you were supposed to be here, means there's no excuse for your absence. My coworker, the guy in charge of providing the newbie training, just sent me a message. The training course for our midterm recruitment newbies starts today. Can you believe one of them didn't show up on her very first day? Geez, Kirsty, where do we find these people? I won't send what came after that, but needless to say, he is furious. I think I did get some kind of training schedule over mail. Wait, are you telling me that was actually the schedule? I thought the part where it said I was in today was a mistake. If you thought it was a mistake, why didn't you make an inquiry? Surely that would have been the reasonable thing to do in this situation. 'Cause who the hell works on a Sunday? I figured it must have meant Monday, so I just ignored it. I was ready to come in tomorrow. Would you mind bearing with me for a little while, Mel? Thanks. I just checked with my coworker, and it turns out your shift today most definitely wasn't a data entry mistake. Huh? How the hell would you know that? Because my boss received a copy of the same training schedule that was sent out to all the newbies, and he just showed it to me. Huh? There are about half a dozen newbies starting today, and a few of them are going to be assigned to my department, which means my boss has access to all of the relevant materials. Wait, what the... Hang on a sec. Your boss? I thought you seemed weirdly knowledgeable about the inner workings of the company. Hang on, are you... Yep, bingo. I take it the penny finally dropped then? I work as a full-time employee at the company you received a provisional offer at. Oh my god, are you serious? Don't get me wrong, I have absolutely nothing to do with HR. Which means I was astonished when I found out my little brother's soon-to-be wife just got assigned to my department. Anyway, we'll have to get this situation sorted out soon. What's it gonna be, Mel? What do you mean? Whether you go through with your wedding is, of course, entirely up to you. But you should know it'll mean going down on the system as an absence without notification on your first day of work, no less. Basically, it's going to mean you failed to attend the first day of your mandatory employee training course without good reason. And since the offer you received was provisional, it is all but guaranteed to mean your chances of getting a full-time contract are pretty much zero. I won't fall for this. I know you're trying to trick me. Excuse me? Trick you? It's so obvious. I can read you like a book. This is clearly nothing but a huge crock of bullshit you cooked up in desperation to avoid the shame and embarrassment of admitting you got the venue for your own brother's wedding wrong. This is why you can't trust a high school dropout with anything. Oh, you're free to interpret this whole situation like that if it makes you feel better, but I think you're aware of how ridiculous the situation that I'd make something like this up is, Mel. No, it makes perfect sense. Anyway, this is your fault for not giving mine and your brother's wedding your blessing in the first place. If you would have just fulfilled your goddamn duty as his sister to begin with, none of this would be happening. How exactly do you work that one out? Your wedding and today's newbie training have nothing to do with each other. Even if I had gone to the wedding, you would have still been expected to be in today as long as you didn't inquire about your misunderstanding over which day it was on. So why won't you come to the wedding? You're the only family Kyle has left now that your parents are dead. Are you really gonna make me explain it to you? Yes, because none of this makes any frickin' sense. For real, like, are you being serious right now? Whatever, you know what? It seems like you genuinely don't understand. Fine, it can't be helped. My brother Kyle was originally engaged to Michaela, your older sister, right? But you stole him from her by having an affair with him behind her back. So what? What's your point? Me and Kyle love each other, and that's all that matters. Who are you to try and stand in our way by dragging up the past like this? I'm not holding the fact you and my brother developed feelings for each other against you. It was the letting it develop into a full-blown affair while he was still engaged part that was despicable. Any decent human being would have waited until he'd broken off the engagement, or simply let go if he wasn't willing to. Huh? Naturally, I think you're despicable after demonstrating your absolute lack of virtue and moral fiber by tempting my brother into having an affair with you when you knew full well he was engaged to your sister. But I am also disgusted with my brother for meeting you halfway. If he has half a spine or a modicum of decency in him, he would have told you where to stick your seedy solicitations faster than you could say seedy two-bit whore. Which is why I was obviously never going to show up to the wedding, and to be honest, why I never want anything to do with either of you again for as long as I live. Besides, I already said all of this to Kyle. He knows I despise him and was never under any illusion I'd be at the wedding. So it genuinely baffles me that you didn't seem to get the message. Huh? You see, Kyle and I lost our parents in a traffic accident when I was still in high school. He was still in elementary school at the time, so I had no choice but to drop out so I could take care of him. I gave my everything to give him the best shot I possibly could at making something of his life. And how did he repay me? By coldly betraying your sister, one of the loveliest, most kind-hearted people I know, in the cruelest, most hurtful way possible. Huh? Anyway, Mel, it's time to make a decision. What's it going to be? Shall we go with an unpermitted absence from your first day at work and the beginning of your training course? Hello? Are you there? Why isn't there anybody here? Huh? I was messaging you in the bride's waiting room this whole time. I could hear some noise coming from the main hall around 20 minutes ago, but it was distracting me from our conversation, so I just locked the door and carried on talking to you. But I just got a message from Kyle saying nobody showed up to the wedding. Forget my friends, even my family and relatives didn't bother showing up. Where is everyone? Oh, I see. I wondered why you suddenly stopped replying. How would I know why no one showed up at your wedding? I didn't even know where it was being held or which day it was on, remember? But this makes no sense. There were supposed to be at least 30 people coming. And did you receive return letters confirming their attendance after sending out invites to all 30 of them? Of course I did. Like I'd forget something so simple. What the hell do you take me for? I see. Well, in that case, and this is just speculation, but is it possible they all agreed to cancel at the last minute behind your back? What? Why the heck would they do something like that? That's crazy! I won't say exactly who I heard this from. Let's just say it was a friend's brother's dog. But the word on the street is that you've always had a habit of stealing other women's boyfriends, and that you're not exactly the most popular girl in town, even among the people you call friends. Apparently everyone's been pretty cold towards Kyle since word got out he cheated on your sister with... Listen, Mel, I didn't come up with this, I'm just passing on the message, but apparently their nickname for you is the Town Whore. Oh my god, that's my nickname? And none of them showed up to my wedding? Ugh, this can't be happening. So yeah, I'm just speculating, but based on what I've heard, I'd say that's a pretty likely explanation for your current situation, wouldn't you? But I could always be wrong, there are other possibilities. So you really should get some confirmation before you go off and do anything rash. Oh my god, does everyone really hate me that much? This can't be happening, I was supposed to have a fairy tale wedding! About an hour after our last message, a woman in a wedding dress barged past security and sprinted up the stairs to our office as if she was possessed by some kind of demonic spirit. Needless to say, the police were called. The sight of Mel yelling, "I'm here for my training!" at the top of her lungs while being restrained by the slightly embarrassed security guard she blitzed past like a whirlwind only a minute before was one I'll never forget. It turned out my theory about the wedding guests plotting to cancel on Mel and my brother at the last minute was right on the mark. Apparently realizing they were no longer going to get any wedding gifts, they canceled the wedding and incurred a massive same-day cancellation fee. That, in combination with the compensation they both already owed Mel's older sister for the affair, must have been why Mel was so desperate not to lose her new job. She was so desperate, in fact, that she completely forgot to get changed and showed up at the office flailing around like an escaped mental patient in a wedding dress. Naturally, everyone at the company was mortified by the bizarre spectacle unfolding before their eyes, and she was fired right then and there. As for Kyle, he quit the same week, unable to bear now being the butt of every joke and the subject of every hushed conversation in the cafeteria. Last I hear, Mel and Kyle are currently spending their days in a cheap, cockroach-infested apartment in the rough part of town while working like dogs to pay off their exorbitant debts.